What's going on, you guys? We are in Fresno, California. Just got through getting my trailer washed out at the Fresno Truck Wash, where JCT has an account with them. We're gonna go pick up our load now at the Saputo cheese facility in Tulare. That's a low enough curve. I don't know. You just usually run it right over. The guy who came out of here in front of me just was like more gingerly and went over to the driveway and went out that way, but hardly a point. Big enough tires. I just go over the curb. Not gonna do anything. It's a really short curve anyway. Alright, so there's my map right there. Alright, so I'm going to show you where we're in the blue dot at the bottom and we're going to the red pinned location at the top. He's a straight man. He's fine. Alright, we're going to get on southbound 99 here in a second. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in here real quick so you can get a good look at what we're dealing with. So we're going to make the left turn right here at this stop sign, and we'll cross over the top of the highway, top of 99, and right on the other side of it will be an on-ramp. We're going to make a left turn. This can be a pain in the ass making this left turn, because a lot of times I get traffic on the northbound off-ramp, and it's like a constant battle with them. And now I can't really see if there's anybody making the turn from Central Avenue here onto, I forget the name of this street. So I can't see over there. I think a minivan just made a right turn down over there. And I got a semi and a couple of four-wheelers on the off-ramp here. Alright, we're good to go here. Pedestrian over here was nice enough to wait and let me go first. He didn't have to, but he was nice enough to do it. Alright, so in case, there's actually truck parking right here, as you see, in this cafe, or whatever you want to call it. It is overnight parking available here, too. Just if you need a little hidey hole or something, that's a good spot. I've never eaten at that restaurant before, but I know it's a good little spot to at least park, and especially if you want to grab a bite to eat or something and want something pretty close to, we'll just call it Southern Fresno. Damn it. Pick up. See if I can make this turn before him. Good, yeah, he took long enough to get through there. Okay, we are going to have a traffic delay coming up here. As you see, I'll go ahead and zoom to right there, just to where the traffic delay is first. I don't expect to be talking all the way to Tulare. But yeah, I do want to have it start early enough where I do cover enough of what I want to talk about, and then whatever's left over, I'll high speed it. I don't know. I'm not. Sometimes I think it'll only take like 15 minutes to talk or something, and then it turns out I'm talking for like 30 minutes. So I don't know. We'll figure out. Do what I can with this. I'm gonna make sure my music is not. Yeah, we're good here. All right. So on that note, let's talk about jury duty. Now, I don't have jury duty summoned right now, but I've been summoned numerous times. Now, one of my classmates, she had just posted that she's did jury duty this week for the first time ever. Or actually in jury selection, whatever. We're like 49 years old. How in the hell are you just barely getting summoned for jury duty the first time ever? Or actually having to show up, I guess. I don't know, but it's kind of surprising to me because I've been summoned numerous times. I guess if you live in a low crime area and hardly anybody ever gets criminally charged with anything, and there's just not much caseload to pick from, or or something. I guess it makes sense, but I don't know, man. I mean, countless times I've been at least summoned. I think I actually went to jury selection 4 times. First time was barely when I was not too long out of high school, before I even went in the Air Force. And it turned out the victims in that case, because if I remember right, it's been so damn long. I think it was some kind of an assault case or something like that. But it turned out the victim was a female. I knew who she was. I didn't really know her personally, but I was friends with her boyfriend though. So that kind of created a kind of a conflict of interest situation, possibly, or I don't know, I could be open-minded and listen, like, I know everybody has the capacity to do both good and bad, no matter who they are, but of course to a prosecutor or a defense attorney who doesn't know me from Joe Blow, whatever, they might be apt to think that I might side with the defense on or the prosecutor on that case, just by virtue of the fact that I'm friends with, I grew up with the boyfriend of the victim. He wasn't the one on trial. It was somebody else. I don't remember all the details of it. I just want to say it was some kind of an assault case. I didn't actually get up into the jury box to answer the questions there. I was there on the selection day though. But before they ended up calling my name, they had already impaneled their entire panel of 12 jurors and 2 alternates. So it was kind of I was there just in case. But by the time once they impaneled the jury and the alternates, then it was like, all right, everybody else, we don't need you anymore. Go ahead, you're excused for the rest of for the next year or whatever. So that's how that one went. And I had another one, when I was working at March Air Reserve Base, and I lived in San Jacinto, which is basically east-southeast of where March Air Reserve Base is. March would be right where Moreno Valley, Riverside, and Paris, California meet up. Right where the southeastern border end of Riverside, I guess I would say the far west end of Moreno Valley, and the north end of Paris. That's a simple way I can explain that. But all right, so there's one particular day there was an accident on Cactus Avenue, which is actually the east-west street that goes right alongside the north end of March Air Reserve Base. Now, as it happened, there was a fatal accident further over the east on Cactus, out past where the county hospital is at. If you look on a map, you'll see that. But there was a fatal crash that happened over there, and this girl got put on trial, 18 or 19 or whatever, 20-year-old, I don't know, really young adult female driver. She got put on trial for vehicular manslaughter. She wasn't drunk or anything like that, but they thought she was driving recklessly, and that her reckless driving behavior was the cause of the crash. Ultimately, as it turned out, I was there for the jury selection on that one, and not only on top of that, turned out I had actually had to divert around this same exact accident the day it happened, and. How I knew was because, before they start even selecting jurors, they kind of start explaining the details of the case a little bit. And, and they show pictures of what the vehicles involved look like. And then as soon as I saw the girl's car, I'm like, wait a minute, I know that car. Because I've seen this car a number of times on, right there on Cactus before. Because I sometimes go that way to get home from work. And, Yeah, and I would, usually if I went that way, I would take Cactus Avenue all the way down to where it terminates, or just about terminates onto Redlands Avenue, I think. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. I think that's the street over there. Or, yeah, I think it's Redlands. And then go a block north up to Alessandro, take Alessandro another block over to the east, and it curves around and becomes Theodore Street, which is now, I think, International Business Parkway or American, I don't know, some kind of freaking, trade, like International Trade Parkway, or I forget what the name of that street's called now, but it used to be called Theodore Street. Go another block, like not even a block north, and then you make a right, and Alessandro continues there on to Gilman Springs. All right, so that's the way Gilman Springs would take me over to San Jacinto. Yeah, I know this is rattling off a bunch of weird stuff to you, but again, if you're looking at a map, you'll see what I'm talking about. Anyway, yeah, I had to divert around this accident on my way home from work one day, and then unbeknownst to me, later on, I'd end up being, I was showing up for jury duty in city of Riverside for this. For this same exact case, and and I'm like, holy shit! I went around this same accident scene. I remember because I would have been going right through where it was at, but they forced me to make a detour route up to Alessandro sooner than I normally would have. And anyway. We started going through the selection process, and what do you know? I'm like the very first name called. I think government workers, because I was dual status government employee, and lawyers and prosecutors tend to love picking government workers because we tend to be more open-minded, for one. Two, we're getting paid anyway. If you're a federal government employee, your agency will actually put you on what you call jury duty leave, and they will actually pay you your full, whatever your normal pay rate is, for as long as you need to be there on that jury. So it's not like everybody, most any other job where if you get put on jury duty, your employer will not pay you for it, or they'll only pay you a small amount, or maybe the court will pay you a small amount or something like per diem or something. No, if you're a federal government employee, if I made I was making about $40 an hour or something like that at the time. So I was getting paid $40 an hour to sit there as long as they needed me to be there. Well, they called my name first, put me in the box, and then, usually every court does things a little bit differently, but generally, they put everybody in the box first. They'll call like 12 names and 2 alternates or something, and then they'll usually have like a list of questions that they want to ask, and it could be anything like, do you have a criminal record, or do you have a problem with this or that, or whatever. You might even have something about your views, or do you have any issues that would conflict with serving as a juror, or something along that line. And they might I've had cases where they'll say juror number 1. Then they'll ask you every question through there, and and decide whether they want to keep you or not, and then so on, or they might say everybody in the panel there, everybody in the box, does anybody say yes to question number 1? And then if you say yes, then raise your hand, whatever, and then they'll start asking you questions related to that. And at that point in time, either the judge will dismiss you, or either the prosecutor or the defense attorney may request to have you excused, because they think that you're not helpful to their case. There's a chance that you're not going to be helpful to their case, because they do actually look for specific types of jurors, that are most likely to help their case. So anyway, I ended up getting impaneled on this jury, and Basically, the simple part, I guess, explanation of this case was this young lady was doing about 70 miles an hour in a 50-mile-an-hour zone there, going eastbound. The part of Cactus she was on, it was at the time, I don't know if it's changed, but it was one lane going eastbound, and then just before the intersection in question, about maybe a couple hundred feet before, it became 2 lanes in each direction. And at this intersection, it was a light-controlled intersection, and there was some traffic there at that light. It was all coming from the south side. She was heading east. They were coming from the south, facing northbound. There was, if I remember, a guy in a pickup or utility-type truck in the right turn lane, and then a woman in the straight-through lane or the left turn lane, whatever it was. They were both facing northbound on the cross street, and basically what ended up happening is they basically said that this girl looked like she was out of control in a way, like she was swerving whatever toward the corner, like the light pole at the corner where right by where the guy making the right turn, waiting to make the right turn was at. But ultimately, now what happened there is she swerved to the left. You can see her. You can see from the aerial view her skid marks went kind of parallel with the lanes. About halfway between the right and left lanes of the eastbound lanes, and then they kind of, if the lanes were going this way, they were swirling they started the same general direction, but halfway between lanes it looked like, and then she swerved to the left, like she was trying to avoid something, and then she ends up going across into the westbound lanes. And by her own, I think by her own testimony or her passenger's testimony, she froze up and let go of the steering wheel. So she went, and the trajectory that she looked like she was going to looked like she would have just went harmlessly over. She would have went over a curb and into this dirt field across the street, in between a couple of residential properties. But while that was going, when she let go, though, her friend in the passenger seat ends up grabbing the steering wheel and starts trying to correct back to the right to get them back on the eastbound side. And I hope this is not going to be an exit only with what it shouldn't be with all this crap going on here, but we'll see. Alright, well, her friend ends up trying to swerve them back over the right lane, and it looked like this similar speed and type of swerve marks, like radius and all that kind of stuff, correcting back over to the right. And while doing that, while the passenger was actually steering the car, they ended up colliding head-on with an old man in a pickup going the other direction. I think he was down to about 30 some odd miles an hour or something by then. And he ends up dying. So, there were some other interesting details with that one, like the southwest corner of the intersection. There was this big-ass white comm box that restricted the northbound traffic's view of traffic coming from the west, where she would have been coming from. And the coroner's report said the decedent was about 310 feet east of the intersection, if I remember correctly. So we had to kind of play a guessing game at where exactly this, the view, where this girl would have been visible, how far away from the intersection she would have been before she would have been visible at all to the northbound traffic. And also figure out, well, why did she swerve? Was she out of control, or maybe like not paying attention, or did something cause her to swerve? Because there's always that question, was she playing with her phone? And in fact, the prosecutor even tried to bring up that, well, your phone records show that you were doing something on your phone around the time of the accident. And they said, well, that was earlier, but they didn't do a very good job of proving that it was that she really was. They didn't show phone records showing like the accident was reported at exactly this time, and her phone records showed that she was texting or doing something, or maybe being on Facebook or whatever at this exact moment. Whatever the case, I don't know, but because it never got brought up. They just said it was around the time, but they didn't really do anything to. Could have been like a couple of minutes before. You're not showing anything to prove that that her phone activities coincided with this accident. You're just telling us something, but not showing us something. But anyway, yeah, to me, her skid marks look like she was very clearly within her own direction's lanes when she was about to enter the intersection, and then she started a left swerve. And to me, it's like, why would she start a left swerve unless she was trying to avoid something that was there? So to me, it told me that maybe the guy who was making the right turn there, who said he was still waiting for her, and he didn't make his turn until after she had already gone by, and then he said he had made his right turn and then went a short distance down the road and then stopped to go down the right, along the curb there to check on everybody after he realized the accident had happened. But the skid marks tell me she swerved to avoid something that shouldn't have been there, and that tells me that it was probably this guy making the right turn probably made the right on red in front of her. Now, never mind the fact she was doing 70 in the 50 zone. It would have. I started raising the question of would it have made any difference had she been going right at the 50 mile an hour speed limit? How much difference in time would it have taken to be able to see her, or for her to reach the intersection from where he would have been able to see her, if we estimate about 200 feet of visibility? And it just did some basic algebra there. Now, a lot of you guys hate math, but this is somebody's livelihood. Somebody's freedom is resting on this kind of stuff. To me, it's we have a responsibility to give this girl a fair trial. I'm not saying that she's guilty. She shouldn't be just treated as guilty just because you're sitting at the defense, the defendant's table. That's not how things are supposed to be done. I can tell you there have been plenty of people who've been tried and found guilty who really were innocent, or vice versa. But anyway, let's see. So I did some math, basically. It's just distance equals rate times time, and then you have to convert between the miles an hour and feet per second. There's some conversion numbers you can work with there to figure that out, but it's just basic algebra. Distance equals rate times time. We know the distance, we know the rate, we just don't know the time. So if we just solve for the time, then we can figure out how much difference the time would have been to get from 200 feet away to the intersection at those two different speeds. Turned out it was only 3/4 of a second. 0.75 seconds is what I came up with. That's all the difference it would have made. So and on top of that, she had a green light. She has the right of way. Period. End of discussion. You are making a right turn on red, or at least we have reason to believe you're making a right turn on red. That creates a lot of reasonable doubt that the guy made an unsafe right on red in front of her, in which case he assumed the legal responsibility for the case for the incident by making a right turn on red. It's just like with one of us who drive, us truckers. There are trucking companies that'll tell you don't make a right. They'll actually forbid their drivers from making right on red for exactly this kind of reason, because they tell us if you make a right on red and if an accident happens, you are automatically the at-fault driver. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You are automatically the at-fault person. Doesn't matter. Slide over because I see that car on the on-ramp. They are accelerating, which is nice. I wish I'd have a lot more people like this guy, because there are way too few people like this who will speed up quickly to help me out there. Alright, I'm going to get my zoom back where it needed to be. I was so fixated on talking about. Anyway, that's kind of the gist of how that case went. We ended up going to deliberations. And when we first get in there, it was about 6 of us were all saying acquit. Because 6 of us were all convinced that the guy made the right on red in front of her and caused it himself. Why wasn't he the one on trial? Because there wasn't evidence to prove that he was the one who did it. The girl who was in the northbound straight lane or left turn lane, whatever she was in, I forget. She testified, and they even asked her if she had seen where the guy in the right turn lane was at when by the time, but she said she was looking left the whole time and had no idea if the guy had made his right turn or not. So there was just nothing there to substantiate any belief that the guy had actually made the right on red, but the skid marks and the situation gave enough reason to doubt that this girl's speed alone was the cause of it. Now, vehicular manslaughter cases in California, at least, they have 4 elements. All 4 elements have to apply for you to convict the person. Element 1, there has to be an accident or a collision, whatever. 2, collision has to there has to be a fatality that resulted from the accident or collision. 3, law enforcement had to have given out a citation to somebody. 4, did the citation that law enforcement gave out, is it believed to be or determined to be the significant contributor to the collision? Okay, so this girl was speeding, doing 70 in the 50 zone. Yeah, absolutely stupid. But again, she has the right of way, and had there not been something there making an unsafe change in front of her, or at least, like I said, I'm super convinced that the guy made the right turn in front of her. But again, there's just no proof. Nothing to prove that he actually did do it. If there was proof, she wouldn't have been the one on trial. I'm pretty certain the guy would have been the one on trial instead. I think he dodged the bullet, to be honest with you. And I hope that guy, realizes that somebody died because of his stupid decision. And because I'm, in court of a public opinion, I'm saying that guy's the one who's the guilty party, not the girl. As stupid as she was. But anyway, yeah, 6 of us were firmly on the acquit side for that reason. We had 3 more fence sitters who we weren't really sure whether to convict or acquit. And then had 3 more who were pretty adamantly on convicting her. And it took very little time at all, not even half an hour, I would say. And we had already had the 3 fence sitters all agreeing that they wanted to acquit her. So now we had 9 in favor of acquitting and 3 in favor of convicting. The 3 that were in favor of convicting were all men. 2 of them were truck drivers who naturally had a bad attitude toward general public drivers who speed and do stupid shit. Now, I get that, but just because they're speeding doesn't mean that that's the only reason why there's an accident. Now, again, who has the right of way here? She has a green light. Why did she swerve? She wasn't coming right toward the corner, the light pole at the corner or whatever, they try to make it out to be, because her skid marks clearly showed that was bullshit. So, yeah, those 2 guys were adamantly that's all. We kept trying to convince them that you don't think that this guy could have made a right turn in front of her on red in front of her? They said, no, that's all it could be is her speeding. They just weren't going to listen. In fact, when I did that mathing on the whiteboard there in the deliberation room to show them how I came up with that 0.75 second difference in time, the older of the 2 truck drivers, came up with some stupid, smart-ass comment about, where'd you get your math skills at? A Cracker Jack box? I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? It's like, where'd you get your CDO from? A Cracker Jack box? It's like, you know, I scored over 700 on the SAT math. Yeah, believe me, and everybody knows I'm a numbers guru. Don't fucking tell me I don't know what the hell I'm doing with math. Yeah. I beg to differ big time with you on that one. Alright, anyway, yeah, so those guys were adamant about it. They just weren't going to hear anything else. And then the last guy, it was an older retired man, same age group as the guy who died. And yeah, he said there was one time he even came to the court. He said, because he lived in Riverside, I think the west side of Riverside somewhere, or somewhere in that general direction. There was one day he came to court. He said that he came to court on a particular road in Riverside with a 50-mile-an-hour speed limit, and he decided to do 70 miles an hour on it just briefly just to see what it was like. And he said it scared the fucking living shit out of him by doing it. And I was like, yeah, the girl had no business driving that speed. And I was like, yeah, we agree on that. Even her own public defender said that she was speeding and shouldn't have been. But was that the significant cause of the crash, though? And you know, and he had this mindset that, well, somebody, you know, this man died, and you know, if family needs answers or someone held accountable, and so somebody needs to be held accountable, and she's the one on trial, so she must be guilty. I'm like, you can't do that. I mean, you cannot convict someone. You can't feel guilty just because she's the one on trial. That's why we're all. Why are we here then? If that's the way it works, then none of us are even needed. No, we don't even need to be here then. If every juror had that same mentality, it just, all right, go ahead, judge, whatever you decide is the case. You know, this girl's on trial. She must be guilty. You're going to have to convict her, judge. No, it doesn't work that way, guys. You gotta, you know, consider all the facts of the case, and you know, consider anything that could be reasonable doubt that you know, that about the situation. Yeah, it can be fucked up where people don't get the justice or closure that they're looking for their loved ones who they lost or whatever. But does it make it any more just when the wrong person gets convicted and put in jail? No, that's not right. And it does happen, because we're only a couple miles away from our exit. Exit 85 Paige Avenue is where we're going to be getting off at. Speaking of that, if you ever go to Saputo in Tulare, I want to keep in mind there are at least 4 separate Saputo facilities in Tulare that I know of and have been to personally, all 4 of them. There might even be more. I'm just saying that I know for sure there are at least 4, because I've been to all 4 of them, the ones that I do know about. However, we're going to be going to the one on Paige Avenue today, which is the main one, as I call it. You know, I would say like 8 to 9 times out of 10, if you come here for a Saputo load in Tulare, that's the one you're going to. But they do have one. Come on. I'm not waiting, dude. Thank you. I tried to give you space, but you didn't want to hit your gas pedal, so I don't have much sympathy for you there. Yeah, I actually lit up my throttle there to create a little bit more space, but they say they don't want to aggressively hit their throttle. That's not my problem. All right, we're getting really close here, as you can see here on the map. Got the red pit up near the top right area. So we're going to be getting off, not here at the very next exit, not after this one, is Bardsley Avenue. Speaking of, you can get off this exit and go right down here, and then make a left turn on this one little small street, this parking lot looking street. And there's one of the Saputo facilities right there. There'll be another one over there on the west side on J Street, and then there's another one on this north-south street that comes here between Bardsley and Paige. You know, on one of those side streets that's in between Paige and Bardsley. I can't remember the name of the street though, but so those are the 4 that I know of for sure. I have my reefer pre-cooling to 30 degrees because I have been here before. Now my load assignment does say to run it at 33. However, I know from past experience coming to this shipper that they usually want me to pre-cool to 30. So I already, when I left the truck wash, I set it at 30. So I know I'll be ready to go there for that. I got full reefer fuel as well. And if you guys hadn't seen that last video, this is my longest deadhead route I've ever done in my trucking career. Just shy of 900 miles. Let me slide over because I don't know if this guy I don't know if this truck behind me, yeah, see, he's continuing on. I didn't want to have to make him, I had to slow down for the curve here, and I didn't want to make this end dump guy slow down more than he absolutely had to, so that was why I decided to come over to the shoulder, kind of limit the impact on him. Alright, let's see, alright, yeah, we're going to make this left turn right here, and then an immediate right after that, you'll see we got the Loves and the Flying J here. Come on, ándale, ándale. I don't want this light to turn red before I get a chance to get over here. Alright, we're going to come all the way over here to the right turn lane and make a right here on the Paige Avenue. Alright, these guys got a protected green arrow, so... Alright, so I don't know if you were able to see it, but there's a day cabber that just made a right turn up there just before the railroad tracks. We're going to be making a right turn right where he made his turn. Actually, right about where those cars are at the end of the line. Yeah, right where that bobtail just turned right. We're going to make that right turn. Right here is the Saputo facility that we're going to check in at. Now we're going to come out this driveway that you just passed right now, but that's after we're done. For now, though, we are going to make a right here. And then there'll be another right turn right after that. There'll be a gate we'll come up to. We'll, wait for them to open it. I think they should still have the booth there, if I remember right. You might have to use the booth to get in. All right, this is K Street. Yeah, I got the little the phone booth looking thing over here. Now, speaking of phone booths, how many millennials or younger, Gen Z or whatever they're called, millennials kids? Isn't it Gen Z? How many of you guys even know I've ever seen a phone booth before? Back in the day, before anybody had cell phones, that's all we had was landline phones, like wired phones at home, or we had cordless phones eventually in the 80s. I know a lot of times they open this gate automatically. Well, not automatically, but a lot of times they open the gate before I even get over here to the booth. But sometimes I do have to use the booth to get in. Alright guys, so we had to call a phone number here to check in. I guess the phone thing in that booth doesn't work anymore. Sometimes they'll just, sometimes they'll see actually that you're there through their camera and open the gate automatically for you. But yeah, sometimes they're a little bit busy and can't. I'm going to wait on this US Jet guy because my tandems are too far out for me to want to try for this spot over here. And I'm going to do a U-turn style setup here, parked next to this Husky carrier guy, more than likely. Alright, we're good there. Yeah, that'll work. I had to figure out what this guy was up to, though. He said his brakes. Alright. Looking good there. Might be a little bit biasing toward this guy a little bit, but looks really good otherwise. I always tell you, I always talk about how easy these U-turn setups are, and I rarely ever see OTR drivers doing them, and I always wonder like why they're so easy to do, but most people don't get taught how to do them, and but watch day cabbers or yard jockeys. I learned it myself by watching yard jockeys do it countless times. So that's why, I said that's a good idea. Instead of forcing myself into a blindside situation or having to go all the way down and come back and do a standard sight side setup, well, you can just set up from the blindside right into a sight side backing, just like I did there. Alright, as you see this Chima guy, his tandems are back. You are going to need to slide your tandems back when you dock in. I'm going to go and get checked in. The office will be over here right next to that Ruan drop trailer. Basically next to where this guy just stopped. So I'm going to go get checked in and we'll get docked in when we can. Alright guys, we got a dock door assignment right away. We're going to be docking into door 2. I'm going to go ahead and slide my tandems back first. Okay, she says that she wants it pre-cooled to 34, not to 30. So I will change that once I get docked in. Door 2 is going to be over here on the other side. Usually I dock in right over here in front of us somewhere, but once in a while I do dock in over here on these lower numbered doors. Now, I guess it don't really matter if I'm in driving status or yard move, because I'm not going to burn all my drive time. I actually do plan to end my shift at my house tonight. Alright, door 2 will be right over here next to this Ruan drop trailer. So we got plenty of room here. I do need to... I need to open my doors too, if I remember right. All these Ruan trailers look like they have the doors shut, but I'm like, those could be roll-up doors. I don't know. I seem to remember always opening my doors here before though. Alright, we're going to have a real easy straight back backing for this one. Just trying to get my tandem centered in front of the door real quick. Then we'll change our angle. Yeah, I didn't get it far enough over, but tandems being all the way back had a lot to do with that, but it's alright. Not a big deal. Just bring it straight back now until the tandems are centered. Start cutting the angle off a little bit here. Might be, yeah, we're pretty close. Maybe just a little bit more to the left and we're good. Yeah, alright, right on top of the line now, so. Just bring it straight on back. We're going to keep the tandems right on top of that line and we're good. Oh, back it up. Back it up like a dump truck. Easy back it up. Easy back it up. Back it up like a dump truck. Come on. can of winter here. Alright, so see how long this takes. Yeah, it doesn't normally, maybe it could take an hour and a half or what's going on here? Alright guys, so the lady in the shipping office changed the plans because I guess most of my product is on the other side of the building. So she asked if I could dock into door 20 instead. That'll be over there closer to where the gate is at that I just docked, that I just entered the lot from. No biggie. Probably end up doing a U-turn style setup. Depending on how much room we got to work with there, I don't recall. Don't know what this Ron driver's doing. Opening his doors or closing them, whichever. Looks like he's opening. And getting rid of the slide tandems. Okay, so we'll wait for him. Because I think 20 would be probably over on the end. So wait for him. And hopefully we'll end up doing another U-turn setup. This time with tandems all the way back. Actually, might be able to get a straight back out of it. We'll see. If we don't get a straight back, I'll do what I'll call like a modified U-turn. Guy just came in to get backed into a spot, and then yeah, I think 20 will be right over here on the far end by where this guy's I think in my spot right now. Yeah, 20 is indeed the last one over here. Alright, I gotta go 2 spots back. Well, there aren't 2 spots past, but I gotta compensate for my tandems being so far back. Like, bit off to the right, but not too bad. Alright, I don't see any lines there, but I do see the tire track marks where everybody else had their tires, so I'll just try to follow those as best I can. I think I'm off to the left a little bit. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there is a line over here on this side I can work with as well, so. Alright guys, hopefully this will be the last docking I do today. Alright, probably take a couple hours. We'll see. It's 17:33 local time right now. After that, we'll be scaling out over here at one of the truck stops nearby and on our way. Alright guys, we're all done getting loaded. We're going to pull out now and come over here next to the building, get my tandem slid, doors shut, and we'll wait for we'll get our bills signed and wait for them to steal our trailer. I'm going to come over here where I'm at. I'm totally out of the way. Because there are other drivers over here. It could be one of those guys waiting for that door. I don't know. So, best to get over here and just not be in the way. Alright, we'll get tandem sled and all that. We'll be, have some more for you when we're ready to roll. Alright guys, we are good to go, ready to roll. We'll just head over to it is a heavy load, 41,600. So we'll just head over here to the Flying J and scale it out. And then call this video a day. Shut up. Alright. Let's see. Okay, so I did talk about it in the previous video. The kind of the start of my deadhead route from Prosser, Washington, over to Biggs Junction, Oregon. No, we don't have to stop here. It does say that, but you don't have to. And there's no spikes over here like there used to be. Okay, so anyway, in that video, I did talk about how this load will be going to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Now I gotta double check, because my load assignment said Superstore Industries is the customer. However, BOL here says it's going to Tony's Fine Foods. So I don't know if it's if Tony's and Superstore are synonymous. I've been to Tony's before, but I didn't know they had anything to do with Superstore Industries. I'll just have to double check that the address is the same and all that. If not, I'll just have to double check. Okay, I do see another JCT over here. We're going to go ahead and come in on this side, but we're going to have to go around and hit the Catskill from the other side. Looks like a line of people trying to get on the Catskill, too. Alright, looks like this guy is getting ready to back up. Yeah. So we'll wait for him. I don't want to be in his, if he needs to reset it all, I don't want, shit, now I got this other guy back there. Gotta make sure I'm out of his way though, at least. I think we're good. Once I know this guy here in front of me is not gonna need to reset, I'll go ahead and go by, but yeah, it looks like he's doing pretty good. I don't know. He might need a reset just for his tractor. His trailer looks like it's in there pretty good, though. I don't know. He might have it. Yeah. He should be able to get it in there without a pull-up. Come on. Yeah, he's good. Alright, perfect opportunity. I can swap out my cards, my SD cards, and definitely a restroom and drink break while I'm here. What's Martin doing? Is he getting rid of backup? Yeah. Martin, you should have your four-ways on. How do you know if someone's yelling for you to stop if your windows are up? Just curious.
You have 5 hours and 8 minutes of remaining drive time.
Good God, okay, that's an example of a driver who's got a lot of bad habits there. Whether he's poorly trained or is an experienced driver who just doesn't give a shit, I don't know. But yeah, a lot of bad habits there, guys. Not really my concern, my business, but windows up, seatbelt on, and all that. It's all indication that he's either not very well trained or he's just an I don't give a shit kind of driver. Alright guys, our weights are all good. Got 11,620 on the steers, 33,520 on the drives, 31,520 on the trailer, and 76,660 on the bros. I'm going to go and just temporarily park over here in one of these premium spots because I'm only going to be here just for a few minutes anyway. Get my tandems a little bit further over this way, and then we'll do alright, get that window down there. Tandems are about where I want them now, and I get my drives over there. Alright, that should be good there. Come on. Alright guys, that's a wrap for this one here. Weights are all good. I mentioned we're going to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. It's not due until the 20th though, so I don't know if I'll be taking it all the way there. There's a possibility I will, but 6 days on this load, or more so 5. There's that, yeah. Plus we don't have a lot of loads that go into the Pennsylvania area, so, and I have had times before where I've had loads going to Pennsylvania and I got asked to swap off of it to help get somebody from that area home. So fingers crossed, Anthony. I don't know if I'm gonna end up out there in Harrisburg. We'll see. If I do, that'll be where where my next video will be from. If not, you'll see something else instead of that. Okay. All right, y'all have a great day. Thanks for hanging out, watching. Sorry about the ramble earlier, and the rant, I guess, about the situation there, but given my situation, hope you understand, all right? All right, y'all have a great night. We'll see you on the next one.